This is one of my favorite videos to do because I actually get to take the time and try and drink the entire bottle or almost the entire bottle before I let you guys know if I'm gonna spend my hard-earned cash to buy another one. So I finished 12 bottles the last couple of months. I'm gonna let you know which ones I'm gonna buy more or Nevermore.
Oh yeah.
Welcome to Whispink. My name is David. And let's get straight to the bottles. The first ones is the slam dunk buy mores, or ones I know I'm gonna buy over and over again. So why waste your time? Here you go. These are 5 wonderful whiskeys. Starting from right here, the Jack Daniel's Barrel Proof Rye. Pound for pound, probably the best rye in the market. Coming in at $60, just incredible. Rare Breed and Russell's Reserve Single Barrel, just lovely. I did so many reviews of these, but you know what? Just can't get enough of them. And of course, 2 maybe surprising ones to this slam dunk buy mores. First one right here in the middle is gonna be the Michter's Single Barrel Rye. Now, a lot of people don't like it because of the lower proof point at 84.8 or something like that, but it is wonderful. It packs a good punch for that lower proof. And because it is a lower proof, you get a little bit less of the spiciness, a little bit less of the burn, and a lot more of the flavors that you can get from front to end to all the way to the finish. And so I love that part of Michter's. And of course, right here is gonna be the Bardstown Origin Series Bottled and Bond Wheated Bourbon. This was probably all the rage 2 years ago. A lot of channels reviewed it. I reviewed it. I said it's one of the best value bourbons in 2023, but it has kind of cooled down. People have moved on, but I haven't. I still think it's a wonderful bourbon, especially coming in around $45 to $50. Delicious. So let's get to the 7 bottles I had to think about before it was an automatic buy more or a Nevermore. So the first bottle is gonna be a bottle that everyone knows, and probably a lot of people think it should have been in the slam dunk buy mores, but I got the reason it's not. It's going to be Weller Special Reserve. Again, whoa, people are gonna be like, this should be a slam dunk buy more. And yes, it is, only at MSRP, but when's the last time you saw this just rolling around if you're not in Texas or Ohio, right? It's really hard to find in my market for MSRP. You gotta sometimes stand in line or you gotta know somebody. And for this, it's a good sipper, but you shouldn't pay more than MSRP at 25, 30 bucks. Or you shouldn't have to use any of your connections or any of your relationships to get this bottle. So yes, if I'm walking down the aisle at a liquor store and I see this for 25 bucks, I'll pick it up. But I don't have a backup of this because I haven't been able to, and I'm not gonna spend $67 just to taste this. So basically, if you see it at MSRP, buy more. If you have to pay more or you have to use points or you have to use a relationship, Nevermore. The next bottle, it's a good tasting bourbon, but the price is kind of out of whack. It's gonna be Widow Jane 10-year, coming in around 91 proof and around $60 to $70 in my area. It's a good pour, but it's too damn expensive. I'm just gonna be honest, at $67, I can get the Rare Breed. I just talked about the Jack Daniel's Barrel Proof Rye or the Barrel Proof Whiskey, or even I could pay what, $5 more and get the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. It's like, bro, I know it's 10 years old, but it's a little bit lower proof. It's a lot of watered down. Why can't you guys have this at $40, $45 and it'd probably be a buy more? But again, at $60, sometimes $70, Nevermore. The next bottle, I'm not really into finished whiskeys, but this one, I like. It's gonna be Barrel Seagrass. I do not like finished whiskeys. Most of the time, the finish just overwhelms the whiskey, the bourbon or the rye, and all you taste is the finish. I mean, Amburrado is a prime example, even some maple and honey barrels, they're just too sweet and your whiskey is just a second tier, right? But the Barrel Seagrass, fantastic. And coming in at $80, it's a buy more. It really does finishing well. It keeps the integrity of the whiskey, be the bourbon or the rye, in this case, the rye, and you can get all the greatness of the rye, but the 3 finishing touches just gives it a little bit of that extra kick. It's just that little extra at the end that gives it that awesomeness to just drink it over and over and over again. I know in my previous Buy More and Nevermores, there's a lot of barrels I said it's gonna be a Nevermore, even though it's good because it's either similar to other finishes that barrel has, or I'm just gonna wait for the new barrel release. But Seagrass, nah, it's a Buy More. This is what I compare all other barrel finishes to because this is the best. So for me, easy Buy More. The next bottle is also a finish, but surprisingly, I also like this one. It wasn't as bad as I thought. Maybe I gave it a too low of a bar when I was going in, but hey, I liked it. It's going to be Whistle Pig, 12-year old rye, finished in Sardines, in Madeira, and Port Cask, coming in at 86 proof and $130. The age and the price match, but the proof 86 and the price kind of doesn't match. I know finishing in triple cask kind of has to bump the price up a little bit, but $130 for 86 proof seems to be very, very high. So when I got this, I wasn't expecting much. I was like, yeah, it's gonna be thin. So all I'm gonna do is taste the wines. But the rye stood out. There was a lot of oak from the 12 years, a lot more than I thought from 86 proof. And the finishing wasn't overwhelming. So I was pleasantly like, oh, this ain't so bad. And obviously, not only that, I think I probably drank a quarter of the bottle. I actually gave a lot of this away because a lot of people, due to the price, never had it. So I wanted them to try it. But it's $130 freaking dollars. It's a Nevermore. It's good. At 70, 80, I'll probably think about buying another one. At 60 or less, I'll definitely buy another one. But 130, no more. If you're enjoying this content, please push that like button. Absolutely, positively help me out a ton. And I like to be helped a ton. And my Patreon YouTube members, thank you so much. You guys keep this channel going and supporting this guy who just likes to drink and talk about whiskey. The next bottle is finally a bourbon that I was actually really surprised how good it was. I didn't have much expectations going in. It's a sourced whiskey, that's a single barrel, and it had a good rep, but I was like, how good could it be? But it's pretty damn good. It's gonna be Good Times. Barrel strength, non-chill filtered, single barrel, 7-year-old bourbon coming in at what? 110 proof. And it has a cool tater sticker in the back. Well, again, I know it's an expensive bottle. I believe this was around $100, $110, but I got it at a better price. And so I was like, you know what? How good could it be? I know Good Times has some good finishes and they have some weird, cool kind of like apple brandy and all this other cool stuff that, you know, Good Times does. But I was like, just MGP, single barrel, 7-year. How good can these guys pick? And you know what? They're pretty good. I gotta say, I finished this quickly. I believe I also gave a lot of samples away because, of course, a lot of people haven't tried Good Times, especially non-finished or just straight single barrel bourbon like this. And everyone that I gave it to liked it. But it's $100, $110. And to like it, it's not enough. Just like the Whistle Pig 12, this one is above that triple-digit mental barrier. And for me, you can't just like something in order to buy it at that type of expensive prices. For me, I absolutely enjoyed it. I killed this bottle, great stuff, but am I gonna replace it? No, I'm not. So the next bottle is a newer brand that, because of the blender, had a lot of hype behind it, but that hype has died down a lot. It's gonna be 2XO American Oak, coming in at $45, and this one is at 92 proof. So I did a review of this when I first got this, probably about a year and a half ago. And I said, it's a nice alternative to Eagle Rare 10 because it's double oak. Actually, in this case, I believe it's just American Oak stave finished, but it gave it just enough oakiness where it kind of reminded you of an Eagle Rare 10-year. And again, because it's coming in at 92 proof, which is very similar to the Eagle Rare, it had a lot of the sweetness, a lot of the caramel that reminded you of the Eagle Rare. But as I drank more and more and more of the bottle, the more I realized the bitterness, the tannins, the flaws in this blend. So for me, even at $45, Nevermore. Am I glad I tried it? Yes. Am I gonna get another one? No. Am I gonna get to the French oak? No, because of this experience. Now, maybe I'll have the French oak and I like it and I'll buy it, but because of this, any 2XO brand, I'm gonna have to try before I buy it, because this was my first one and maybe even my last one. The next bottle is the one I absolutely love, and you guys probably think it's one of the best bourbons out there. So why is it not a slam dunk buy more? Because the price fluctuates greatly. It really depends on what price you find it at. It's gonna be Stag. In this case, batch 18, the first one without the junior, coming in at 131 proof and MSRP of about $65 to $70. Now, if you find that at MSRP, buy more, buy a case, buy 4 cases if you can. I mean, I don't care what batch it is. If it's Stag, MSRP, you buy it because you don't know when you're ever going to see that again at that price. But obviously, that's almost impossible for a lot of us. When's the last time you guys saw one for MSRP? I mean, you either have to get super lucky, or you have to wait in line, or have an allocation table, or use points or something, right? And so for batch 18, I think it's a good batch, but it's a little too spicy for me, a lot less fruit than the other batches, again, relative to other Stag batches. So the most I'll pay for a batch 18 is probably about $120. But for a batch I really like, let's say batch 15, batch 22A, 23C, or even 24A, I'll probably pay up to $150 to buy more of those batches. Now, I don't want to. Obviously, I want to pay MSRP or less, but let's say I found a 22A and I ran out of it, and I haven't been able to find it for 6 months, and it's at $150. And I had the budget for it, most likely I would get it. So, to conclude, Stag at MSRP is a buy with any batch. All right, buy a case, buy 2 if you can. Stag, if you like the batch, or I think any Stag probably under $100 is still really a buy more, no matter what. And then if it's a good batch, up to 120, and if it's a batch that really matches your palate, up to $150. Hopefully that helps. So let me know in your comments, what bottles have you finished in the last couple of months? What did you buy more of? And what's Nevermore? Thank you so much. I'll see you guys next time.